Here bringing you guys another game. This is going to be me versus a Protoss who goes for like a blink stalker aggression in the early game, and it's going to show basically how I handle this, how I react to it, the mistakes I make in this, and then the decisions I make, to gain an advantage over my opponent, who's doing a really efficient aggression. So it's not something that I run into a lot on ladder. In fact, this is probably the first time that I'd played it in a very, very long time. I'm going to put this on my cam, so you're going to see how. First of all, I don't expect it. Second of all, I don't have perfect engagements, and I don't have I don't end the game when I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to counterattack at some point and just be able to end the game. But basically, I'm going to show what I do and my decisions that I make, as I always do. So right now, I'm just going to actually speed up the game. Nothing too important happens in the beginning. This first Overlord, I'll talk about this since I can talk about it, is going to go right here because in Protoss they're not going to have anything to stop that Overlord. So I'm going to send it right to this area, and then I can get it back here in this little sweet spot later on if I want to. As I take a 15 pool, I'm going to slow the game down a bit to 2x, and he's trying to block this hatchery. He's doing it pretty effectively. He's just on patrol. I could have actually timed it, so I could have gotten it down, but we get it down there. That's fine. And then I notice, okay, wait, no expansion from him. So correct decision here is to take a gas shortly after the queen and the 4 lings come out. Now the lings are poking down here. I'm going to try to see exactly, what's he doing. I got a probe there that I found. Taking the gas, getting the queen, getting the second queen. Queen injects and moves down to this space. This Overlord went in thinking that he was going to have a Zealot first, and he had a Stalker first. So I'm actually going to lose this Overlord. I was pretty upset by that. I'm actually going to lose a couple more Overlords in this game just because of the positioning. And normally, I guess it's a mistake worth mentioning actually, because normally Overlords that are flying across the map into these positions would be totally safe against a Forge Fast expand, and pretty much like 99% of the games I play against Protoss on this map, Daybreak, are Forge Fast expands. So that's just kind of like me following, what's the word, my habits, habitual play, where I just am used to sending Overlords in those positions at that time, and it ends up costing me a little bit. So it's kind of annoying, but either way, I see the Stalker here. I'm trying to harass these lings a little bit, but I'm going to pull back. I got a ling here injecting, or a queen here injecting, lings do not inject. So, yeah, just doing all that nonsense. Now, I am going to build 2 spines because he's on 1 base, and against the Protoss, I don't know, if it's going to be some crazy fast 4-gate pressure. I'm actually going to back up here and talk about this. So, these lings were going home. And then I see this Overlord, and I realize that Stalker was following me. I know he's following me, so I know he's going to be attacking this Overlord. So I'm like, oh crap, I'm going to need to save that Overlord. So I bring the lings back. It's okay. I'd rather lose these 3 lings than lose this Overlord. So I'm going to harass the Stalker. He's got good micro, so he's going to keep it back, but I'm just trying to, okay, all right. He's moving back far enough. I'll save the lings to give myself a little bit more time, pulling back. Meanwhile, these queens are coming up, or Roachmoran went down. In case he's like 4-gating me or something like that. I could have known by now that this was going to be Stalker play, seeing 2 Stalkers, or Blink Stalker play, but I don't know that for sure, and I didn't know that at this point. I didn't make that assumption. So luckily this Overlord does survive because of those 3 hero lings that gave their lives to save it. So thank you to those guys. Speed went down at my first 100 gas. The 2 spines here are going to allow me to stay alive, and I'm going to reposition them here in a minute when my creep spread gets to the appropriate level. So right now I'm producing 10 lings, and I'm going to lose this Overlord that was rallied here. Again, that's just habit, so that's kind of bad. But these 10 lings here are going to thwart any kind of initial aggression from these Stalkers. I don't know exactly how soon his attack is really going to be in my face, but I expect any moment here. So I'm producing a few roaches. I'm going to get like 5 is pretty good start for defending a 4-gate. Usually I produce like 5 roaches and have lings here, and then maybe produce a couple more drones if he's not immediately attacking me. But I see him move in. He's got a couple Stalkers here. I still don't know it's Blink, but I mean, honestly, I should... if I was a better player, I could maybe know that by now, but I didn't. I hadn't made that connection. I hadn't put 2 and 2 together and thought, okay, he's got nothing but Stalkers right now. probably blink stalker play. I didn't see, obviously, you know, I don't know if, does he have a second gas? Yeah, he does, obviously. Twilight Council researching blink, of course he would have to have a second gas. What am I talking about? But I only know about this one because of the Overlord that gave his life to see that here earlier. So maybe if I had seen the second gas, I would have made that assumption, or I would have thought maybe DTs or something along those lines. But either way, I'll resume the game, and I'm going to come out here and poke a little bit, but I don't want to extend past the spines, especially without speed. So right now, I'm producing 6 more roaches, and basically, I was streaming this game at the time, and I had a Protoss buddy that's in my clan LXG, who was watching the stream, and at the end of the game, he said, you know, why did you make so many roaches? You know, especially, it's actually a good decision right now to have the roaches, and then be producing lings behind it. But actually, I'll explain that later. I'll talk about that later, because right now this is appropriate. So I have all these lings, I'm doing all this nonsense, I'm attacking forward a little bit, and I got the roaches to fodder. So, you know, I basically don't want the roaches to die. That's the important thing. But I'm actually overextending a little bit too far here. But I think I can do a lot more damage than I am. He manages to segue the lings out of the roaches, so he's going to do some damage to the roaches here. But I have more stuff coming, so I'm rallying these roaches back just to meet up with the rest of the army. You can't let the roaches die. As soon as the lings died and I had only roaches, I was pulling them back, and then I realized, you know what, I'm being too silly here. Why am I overextending? I should just pull back to the spines and just fight at the spines while I drone. But I am getting 20 more lings, taking a second gas because I want to get upgrades, and this second gas actually turns out to be a little bit too hasty. Again, this is not something I play against a lot, so my decision makings are kind of on the fly. Like, you know, what was I thinking at the time? I'll explain that actually. Why did I take the second gas? I took the second gas because I'm thinking, okay, I want to get some upgrades here. I want to get lair tech. I need to do something so that I can beat blink stalkers, and I can't do it strictly on, or I could, but it's not going to be very efficient to do it on lings alone. Another reason for the roaches, and this number of roaches, is that I'm only on 2 base. I don't have a macro hatch. I don't have the money for a macro hatch. I don't really have the economy I would like to have. I only have 8 drones here. It would probably, you know, in retrospect, it'd be better not to make this gas just because of only the amount of drones that I have. And you're going to see that I basically will end up taking these guys off gas shortly after this. But the roaches are here because supply is one thing that any player, any race has to deal with, but the Zerg is the only race that has to deal with the larva. It's a whole nother resource. You have your minerals, you have your gas, and you have larva. And roaches are extremely larva efficient, whereas lings are larva inefficient. You need a lot of larva in order to make a lot of lings, and so it's good to have this roach ling. It's good to have an equivalent number, or kind of a composition between roaches and lings because of the difference in efficiency of the larva there. So that's why I make that decision. I have quite a few here, so I'm not really too afraid. I'm just going to poke up right now and start doing some damage, and you're going to see how efficient these stalkers really are. I kill one, he blinks back, I kill another one right there, he blinks that one back, I killed 2 more right there. I'm fighting in a choke, but it's okay because I only had a few lings left anyway, so it wasn't really reducing any surface area that I could get. And another reason for the roaches, and this is, well, actually I will explain. So my Protoss buddy said, I would have just gone straight mass ling once I saw that he had blink. At that point, I had the first initial 8 roaches, I had 2, and then I was producing 6 more. So that would have been 8 roaches, and he said I would have just gone straight ling at that point. And my counter argument, and I could be wrong, he's a great Protoss player, Parky LXG, so he knows what he's talking about, and it's a good bit of just theory crafting, really, if you want to talk about it that way. But my defense into his argument was, if I'm fighting in a choke, especially one like the one I was just in, it didn't really matter because I only had enough lings to really hit this much surface area anyway. But if I'm fighting a Protoss army and he chokes me up like this, I'm going to have all these lings just running around doing nothing. I want to have some range attack units there to do that. Secondly, roaches have a lot of health, they tank damage, and they keep a force of army alive. So that way you don't need lings the whole time. to stay alive. You know, if you lose your lings, which the stalkers can't really target down that well, but will actually focus on by their natural just attacking, they're going to focus on the lings, obviously, and it allows the roaches to freely sit in the back and just peg away. And also, during that entire encounter right there at this choke, he was killing the lings, killing the lings, killing the lings, and I had roaches just back here, just freely doing damage and killing quite a few of these stalkers. Obviously these numbers are greatly reduced. Actually should be on my camera so we're not seeing what he's doing. That's the whole point of this video, right? We don't know what he's doing exactly. But I have this overlord in position here and I'm going to try to find out soon. Has he expanded yet? I don't see much of anything. I assume he's not, obviously, at this point since he's investing so much into stalkers. But I will resume this game and show that I'm making a couple more roaches and lings because I don't have a lot of larvae. And that's why. Now, his other counter argument was speed. You know, roaches are much slower, but at the same time, that's also what the second gas was about. I got Lair, I got the Roach Warren. You can see I took him off gas when I saw that I had more gas than I needed. I don't have very many lings, so he poked up, but I didn't aggress. I pulled back because I don't have that many lings right now, and I'm making 12 more. Lair's going to finish, and you can see I just selected my Roach Warren. I'm ready to start speed immediately. I feel like, and see, I just started speed, and I put a couple more guys on gas, only 2, because I want to produce more roaches. I feel like speed roaches are going to give me a huge advantage against speed, or I wouldn't say speed stalkers, but blink stalkers, which are able to do a lot of damage. Now, I did send 1 ling. This is an interesting point to make. So, right now his army's here. I don't know that. What I do know is this, and I should actually go back and show that. I'll explain both these things separately. So, where exactly did I move that overload down? Okay, so it's right here. I'm going to put it on my cam. So, actually, I'll put it on my cam altogether. So I put the 2 guys back. I started the gas, or the roach speed, and I'm poking out a little bit to the tower to see if his army was still there. Because now I've got lings, I've got roach speed on the way, I'm feeling pretty good, and I poke in, oh look, I see the nexus going down. 2 things here. I'm not sure, now, when I go back to this point, if his army was up here, because they kept pulling back to this spot here. They could be down here potentially, but I have a couple spines that would at least hold them off long enough. I'd probably just get in here and maybe just do a base race or whatever you felt like doing at that time. But this 1 ling was sent this way to see if his army was right here, then I would feel a little bit hesitant to move out, because these roaches are still slow. It's going to be a little bit before this roach speed finishes, and I'm going to be moving out all the way across the map. I don't want to end up with slow roaches here and have him just blink into my base, and I'm pretty much forced into a base race scenario. But right now, I'm actually just going to come down here, grab this tower. That ling that went the separate direction is going to get that probe. Maybe he got the kill, I'm not sure. I'm not going to go back and find out. It's not that important. So right now, I'm getting a couple more overlords as I'm supply capped, and roach speed's on the way. And then basically, I'm setting up a flank here. So I grab a whole bunch of lings, and I move them this direction. I know about this expansion. I know most likely his army is here. That's what I'm assuming, and I'm correct. You know, but that's what I was assuming at that point in the game. And so I have my roaches here. I have more lings coming down this way while I was waiting for those reinforcements. I control click my lings and sent him this direction. Now he manages actually to have either good insight or he spotted it. I'm not sure. I could always watch his point of view, but he actually is aware of that somehow. So I managed to get kind of a bad encounter because what I really wanted to do was find his army right here. And I thought the timings would work out appropriately, where these roaches are going to move from this direction. They only have this far to go, where these lings were going to come from here and had all of this direction to go. And the timings I figured would work out about right so that they would come in at both sides. And if his army was right here or right here, I would be able to come in from behind with those lings and sandwich him right here. That was my goal, to trap him here. Now obviously he could blink up to his high ground, be really annoying, but then I can force a cancel on this nexus, and that's my goal. But luckily, actually I will back up and see his camera and see if he somehow knew about these flank links. So I'll put it on his camera for a second, and we'll watch his decision here. Maybe he was just poking down to see, but he pulled back probably because he saw my stuff hitting the tower. Oh yeah, I know he did, because he had that probe there. So he's probably just poking out and getting lucky. He happens to see the lings there. That stalker blinks out, which is really cool, and really good blinks on his part. Just really great micro, but blinking out, and then I figure, okay, well, if he's retreating away from his base, why don't I go for his base and force the encounter? You know, I've got more lings on the way, 20 more lings on the way, and 3 more roaches. I honestly probably shouldn't have produced those roaches, but either way, The speed of the roaches is almost done, and I expect that I'm going to be able to do a lot of damage here. I actually think this is going to be pretty, I think it's going to be huge. These lings are coming, but are they going to make it here in time? I don't quite think so. So I'm trying to force an encounter here, or I was trying to pull back actually. Okay, I'll explain. I need to pause and explain. I tried to pull the roaches this direction and force a little bit more time, as I know these lings are coming. I know they're about here, and they're going to help me in this encounter a lot, as I'm almost out of lings. But I end up getting kind of sandwiched between two different forces here. So a lot of these roaches focus on this. I'm getting all my lings killed here, and I'm going to lose like pretty much every one of these roaches. And I thought, at this point in the game, I thought I'm going to kill this Nexus. I thought for sure I was going to handedly win this encounter. There's going to be no way he's going to be able to hold it. And this is a bit of an oh shit moment for me, as I realized, wow, Blink Stalkers are really fucking good. And his micro is excellent. So he's able to do anything and everything. Now these roaches were rallied with the rest of my army back to my bases. I'm thinking, oh crap, producing a couple more roaches. Now, don't look at the production tab right now. Just not look at the production tab. I'm not going to focus on that. I've put back in gas, but I'm taking off right now because I realize I got 500 gas and I don't need it. Getting evolution chamber. I'm going to be doing some injecting there, producing a couple more roaches because I lost the tanks in my army. I have the lings enough right now to hold them off for a bit, but I lost the tanks. So I'm producing more of those guys, and as this evolution chamber finishes, you're going to see me get +1 melee attacks, because melee attacks, while the roaches are there foddering damage, doing extra damage and stuff like that, the lings are really what's going to do all the work here. So I told you not to look at the production tab. This is why. DT comes in. This is going to be pretty annoying. I'm going to lose a few drones here. I have to make another overseer here because, well, I didn't have to. I could have used the same one, but I'm going to pull all of these drones. He's getting a couple drone kills, being pretty annoying. Actually, 12. That's more than I thought. So, being really, really annoying. And I pull all the drones together so I can make sure they're safe. And then I see this little shimmer, so I'm trying to follow him, and I need to put these guys back to work quickly. I'm going to actually, erroneously, I just habit, because I was in the heat of the moment, putting everything back on gas, and then in a minute I'm going to realize, wait a minute, I need minerals really badly. So I'm going to find that DT, kill him, leave this here so that these spines will help kill any more DTs that try to sneak into my base. I have this overseer here. But now it tells me also that I'm going to need, anytime I move out of my base, now that the DTs have been revealed, anytime I ever leave my base with my army, I'm going to need to have an overseer in my army, at least one. And that's really annoying as a Zerg player. You know, you can do that once with DTs as a Protoss, and then the Zerg player is forced to kind of make that decision for the rest of the game. So I only have 7 drones down my natural. As you can see, I took guys back off of gas because I realized, wait a minute, I really need to have mineral saturation right now. I'm perfect in my main. I'm producing 14 more lings because I really want to do a push out now. I have, he just used a bunch of gas on DTs. And I have roach speed, and +1's almost done. So I bring an overseer with me. I morph another one here, and I'm moving out to this tower. He sees it. He reacts by pulling stuff down. I pull the lings back to try to save them, and then the rest of my roaches show up. So I try to get us around. I kill a couple stalkers there. There's 2 go down, 3, 4, blink, and then, okay, I'm pretty much out of lings. I have reinforcements coming though, so I feel like, okay, let's press this. So my +1 just finished. I was intending on waiting for that to finish before I started the engagement, but I have 14 more lings on the way, and I figure, okay, I'm going to make this really, really powerful. So I send all of this stuff around this side to make sure that he doesn't have a 3rd base. I see a probe there, so I'm going to go ahead and kill it. So it looks like he was trying to take a 3rd already. Waiting for lings to come down here right now. I'm going to be taking my 3rd as well, which is what I was planning on doing anyway, but again, flanking in from the side, pulling lings down from this side, trying to get us around. Oh look, he blinks up. So I'm going to go right for his base, right? Force the encounter. No reason for him, no reason for you to just sit there and let him get 3 kills. So I'm just going to sit here and get a lot of these kills. I know this Nexus is low, so I figure, hey, what the hell? I'll just target it down. It's fine. He actually sniped my overseer. So I'm just going to run away. I know he's going to blink on top of me. I know he's going to kill a bunch of these roaches, probably all of them. Yeah, all of them, in fact. But I mean, it's just really annoying dealing with Protoss, dealing with DTs and stuff like that. But I feel epic because I killed the Nexus, so it's not a huge deal. He actually has a DT on hold position right here. So that drone that went down to make the 3rd actually got denied. So I'm moving down with a couple overseers here that I actually grabbed both. I made another one, and I grabbed the one that was there at the natural and put it into control group, and then I'm going to make another one here in a moment and place it there. But he actually ran away with the DT. I didn't show it. Not important. Droning up heavily behind that the retreat. So I'm actually doing pretty good. Went back on 2 gas because I'm getting +2 melee attacks, getting my macro hatchery. So now if I actually get this third up, I'm going to be in really good shape because I just denied his Nexus, and he is rebuilding it, as well as building a third right now. So he's getting really greedy here all of a sudden. But it doesn't really matter because he's in an impasse right now, and this macro hatch is going to allow me to make a lot more lings. I'm going to have a lot more larvae, which is really going to put me in a good position. So I'm spreading creep a little bit because my macro wasn't perfect during all of this. This has been just a really hectic game, and in fact, I pride myself on my stream about commentating throughout the entire game and kind of explaining what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, why I'm making the decisions I make as I go. But pretty much this entire game, I even said it when I was done, I forgot that I was streaming because I was so entranced in this game. Like, this was something that I don't normally face, and I was so all over the place the entire time that my play, you can see a lot of mistakes in my play. Bad engagement, thinking I'm going to kill this Nexus the first time I was there, following it up though and successfully killing it, but having my Overseer sniped and then losing all of that army. But I'm moving out again because I know that there's a DT here, which is pretty annoying, so I don't actually get the tower yet. But he retreats to the DT. I try to grab it, but it's not going to work. But right now I know that I have this third going up. I can drone behind this attack if I want, but he is going to be trying to rebuild his Nexus. I know that. And in fact, I saw it go down. You don't see it here on this view, but I saw it go down as I was retreating with my army before. He rebuilt it like pretty much immediately. So another queen there because this one, the original natural queen, moved down this direction. I just produced a bunch of drones. I don't know. Yeah, I did. Okay, so I produced 6 drones, not like a ton. Oh, there's more. Okay, I thought I produced more. So I'm basically just going to get this saturated because I know I'm at a lead right now while he's trying to solidify this second base, which I just discovered this third. So I'm actually going to pause here so I can finish my thought and then explain my new thought. So I droned all of this base up and put down a spine, a spore, and another spine to defend against any, obviously, DTs. I have an Overseer here as well, but that's why the spore's in the back, because it could snipe it or something like that. And he seems to be fond of doing that, right? We already know that. And he is just being generally gay with the DTs. That's just how I feel about DTs. I hate them more than anything in the world, and so you definitely never see me or BM somebody for that and say mean things to them. But every time it happens and I see DTs or seeing them snipe overseas, I mean, yeah, it's smart play if you're a Protoss. I won't deny that, but it's just so frustrating that it just drives me crazy. So that's why I just got this Overseer here. I got a spore in the back just to be safe. 2 spines here is going to protect this base. And I droned up because I know that he's trying to rebuild this natural. He's trying to get that going, and I killed so many workers as well. 12 to his 14 that he got with the DTs earlier. So I pretty much evened up the game, plus killed the Nexus. Now this Overseer that I morphed earlier, I morphed it over here somewhere, and I sent it this direction, actually just flew over the third. And so I'm going to show that because I didn't expect him to have a third already. It was pretty greedy. So if I go on my cam, you're going to see me basically, actually I'm not going to go on my cam, it doesn't matter. So I'm pulling back a little bit. I just made sure that he wasn't at the tower or doing anything. The drones are coming down. I'm making the spines and spores. And then, oh shit, I see this. I see the third going up, and I know that is so greedy. So I immediately move out with my army. My +2 melee attacks just finished, and an infestation pit goes down. Now, the infestation pit is the most important thing in this entire game. Infestation pit neutralizes blink stalkers. Infestors are just the best fucking unit in the game ever, in my opinion. B, it makes them so they can't blink, which completely neutralizes the effectiveness of the blink stalkers. So this right here is the money shot. Obviously, it's taken me a long time to get there because I have to have the economy to get the gas, to be able to, I have to have mineral economy to be able to support the gas I need to be able to make infestors. That's the short of it. But my army's moving in right now. Obviously can't wait for the infestors. It's going to be a really long time. And I have a powerful army here right now, and I don't know, I assume his army can't be that powerful, right? I killed his Nexus here, but I'm going to move in here. I see a couple cannons, and I see, oh crap, that actually is a lot of stalkers. Okay, yep, I'm going to pull back. So, pretty frustrating getting Blunk on, but I actually see that he's got a third, and that's kind of scary. So right now, what am I thinking? Right now I know that, shit, okay, I'm supposed to have a 4th base against a Protoss 3rd. I need to kill that 3rd. But then I remember, wait a minute, he took that 3rd shortly after, or at the same time, and it turned out it was the same time, as taking his natural again. So even though it looks scary seeing a Protoss take a 3rd, I have to remind myself it's actually not as scary as I think. He had that army size because he doesn't have the economy size yet of a 3rd base. A lot of times you'll see a Protoss immediately transfer like a full round of workers to a 3rd when they take it in a normal game, but this is by far from, a normal game. He's almost mined out of his main, so he's really just solidifying 2-base income still. I had to remind myself of these facts. I had to remind myself that because he's got all of these stalkers here, he's producing nothing but stalkers, and I guess a couple DTs. Using his gas on that, he's not actually in that great of a position. So I have two choices. I could take a 4th base and try to just play out a macro game, or I can use this tech advantage I've got. I've got the infestors on the way. You can basically tech or you can expand. You can't do both at the same time. Now, can I expand off of this? Absolutely. It's just 150, 150. It's not that big of a deal. But pretty soon here, I'm going to need to do something to either stop him or take a 4th and just keep the game even. But my choice is I know I can stop him. I know I can kill him, and I don't want him to solidify the 2-base, start making colossi, start just completely decimating the army that I've put together to beat blink stalkers and DTs, right? And that's another thing about the infestors is they can fungal DTs, which reveals them. So enough said. So he's going to move down here with a couple DTs. If I put it back on my view, I'll even show my camera. This is what I see. Oh, 2 dots on the radar or on the minimap. Lol. They'll get dead. And I come in here. Don't want to lose a bunch of lings, but he had them on move command, so I killed the 2 DTs. And I'm feeling awesome about that because that's a bunch of free gas. I just feel like that's what you deserve for spending so much time on DTs. Taking another gas and I built 3 drones immediately for it just because I like doing that kind of stuff. DT here being pretty annoying, killing another DT. He moves out, blinks with his army. Now, if you ever see a Protoss blink forward with their army, if you have an army of at least comparable size, you fight because they just blunk on top of you. They lost the effectiveness of their blink stalkers for the next 10 seconds. They can't blink at all. So you attack immediately. Now he's going to put me into a choke, so what do I do here? You pull back. You don't want to fight in choke. That's horrible. That's going to give the Protoss a huge advantage, especially when they have high ground advantage. So I pull back. What the fuck am I trying to say? My upgrade for the energy of the infestors finished, and I've got 5 infestors on the way. Pathogen glands. God, why can't I speak words? So that's done. My infestors are coming out, and now I know that I have a huge army that I can fight with. I've got 1 overseer here. I'm pretty sure I grab another overseer actually, just to be thorough. And now that I'm moving out with a force that I want to attack with, or very shortly here, now I'm going to take the 4th base. Yeah, so this is about when I'm moving out. So now I'm going to expand behind my attack. I could have expanded earlier and just defended it while I was getting my tech up and made it even. But like I said, I don't want him to get colossi, and I know I can beat him. So I am taking a 4th base now that I'm ready to go and attack him. And oh, look, he's going to come to me. Great. So I see this army move down. I have the tower. Fungal. Oh, beautiful. So I'm going to go in and attack. He's like, oh shit. Well, I didn't actually get another fungal off because I assumed that he was going to aggress with that because I assumed he would have had to. So he just took a lot of damage. Not a big deal. I didn't lose like anything to doing a lot of damage. So I'm waiting for the infestors, rallying more units, 24 more lings on the way, waiting for the infestors, waiting for the infestors, get another fungal. Yeah! Surround all those units. A good fungal again. Not really worth it for 3 stalkers. So still managed to kill another one, killed 2 more actually. And I'm not really, this was a mistake. I didn't mean to do that. So I pull those back. I want to kill the 3rd. I don't want to kill the natural. I don't want to fight in there. I want to kill this 3rd because I know I can. Right? He's got DTs. He sniped. No, he didn't snipe. I only had the 1 overseer. So I go in here right now. I'm just going to get a good surround. I got the... now he actually blinks forward and targets the infestors. This is annoying. Yes, absolutely. He's costing me a lot of gas doing that. Now, I managed to get fungals off before he managed to kill them, but during the time that he's killing all those infestors, my lings have a surround on both sides. My roaches are right here. These roaches are actually targeting the probes, but I wasn't concerned about that because, hey, look, I'm getting probe kills. And I know that he's forced in place. He can't blink out. I have lings reinforcements coming from the back, and he's targeting infestors. Yeah, that's costly. That's not good for me. Absolutely. It was a really good blink on his part, killing those infestors, but is it worth it in the long run? I'll let you decide. Obviously, I don't have enough to fungal anymore, so I think I'm going to send these, or I'm just going to leave the infestors here for now, but I will send them back shortly. I end up pulling these roaches around to get a more surround as these lings on this side died, and as he pulls back here, he realizes that he's going to lose that army. I'm just going to focus down this nexus. He's killing my roaches. I don't care. I don't care. I got a 4th base behind this. I know I can kill this nexus. I know I can. I even pulled some of these roaches off to fight his stalkers while I left these roaches on it, knowing that these 6 roaches can kill that base. I kill that base. He sniped my overseer. I might lose these infestors here. Yeah, I did. So that was bad. But I already made more infestors behind this. So I am basically just going to retreat with these roaches. I've got more roaches and lings here to defend my 4th. I'm going to be poop and creep there in a second. And he thinks, okay, I just killed half of his army. I'm going to back up for a second. He just thinks he did so much damage, he just killed my entire army, that he's actually going to get a little bit hastier. I went too far back. And he's going to blink on top of these roaches, not knowing that I was already rallying more units over here to fight this army. So he blinks on top of my army again and screws himself. Now the problem is, I lost an overseer in the encounter. Here the swiping, I have to pull back. So annoying, because I could just crush him right now. I could crush him completely, but I have to get a couple more overseers. I think I added one more of these to my control group, and one of them is going to stay here because I immediately pulled the one that was at the natural down here. Now, obviously, the fungals are going to allow me to reveal anything like that. 4 more infestors on the way, and I've got 8 drones going to this base, and I'm pulling all the ones from my main that were idle, and I'm going to take the 2 gas. And I think I'm going to get a queen there pretty shortly as I spread the creep. I should be spreading the creep earlier. But at this point in the game, I think you can see exactly where it's going. At this point, I feel amazing right now. I know that he's got shit for army. He's got shit for economy. He's on 1 base income at best. If I pause and show, obviously, we already knew about that. 1 base income. Finally, just shortly, you can tell based on the Chrono Boost energy bar there, that this base just finished again. So it just finished rebuilding, but during that time I crushed his entire army. This is all he's got, is Archons and Stalkers. Which, fun fact that actually Parky LXG taught me, is that Archons are cheaper if made with DTs in terms of gas, but they're more expensive in terms of minerals, where High Templar are more expensive in terms of gas, but cheaper in minerals. So it's just a fun fact, you know, if you see Archons and you know he went DTs, most likely that's the case. I mean, he's going to have more gas for other things if you're doing a whole gas counting thing in your head. Obviously, he doesn't have a lot of gas banked, whereas I do, so it's pretty good. But right now, you're going to see this encounter move forward. I'll slow back down to normal speed. Look, fungal. Oh, that's such a small army. Great. Move the infestors so they don't get killed. Fungal again, because I can. I feel like pure roach at this point, but it doesn't matter. Against Archons, it actually turns out to be pretty good. And I'm just going to go in and rally lings on the way. I'm going to go in and kill this 3rd again. So infestors are coming forward and keeping them in the back a little bit. Yeah. So I saw. Actually, I should talk about that. I saw that he actually spent the time to kill the overseers that were right here. Now, whether or not that was me misrallying them and putting them in the wrong spot, I'm not sure. But either way, the overseers are dead. So overseers, you have to pay attention to that against the DT Protoss. It's so important. You always have to pay attention to that. Even with fungal, these infestors will buy me time. I can fungal DTs, but still, it's so inefficient to fungal for like single DT that you just want to have the overseers. So the overseers are added to the control group. They're rallied down. A couple more, just for good measure, because I don't have any lings here to fodder damage. So that's what the infested Terrans are all about. I'm gonna crush this base. Yada yada yada. Killing probes because he's not pulling them away. Crushing the base. Back to 1 base income. I might as well just fucking kill him, right? I mean, meanwhile, yeah, I got a... nope, maybe not. Yeah, I had the Hive. The Spire was going to go down in a second, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to pull back around because I have more... I'm waiting for the Overseers to get here so that he doesn't just kill half my army with DTs. It'd be really annoying. Why am I on normal speed? I don't know. So I didn't know about this actually until now. That's pretty funny. He's a cheeky bastard. But I mean that with love. I'm not saying that as like BM. I mean like, oh, you cheeky bastard, like a British person would say or something. I don't know. But yeah, he's being cheeky. I like that. That's cute. But it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter at all. So yada yada yada. Speeding up. Oh look, stalker. Kill that. My infestors were pulling back in case he like blunked forward. But at this point, I'm just gonna get a little bit of a flank going on here. Now, I was taking this base, and I see this pylon here, so I'm going to react to that here shortly. I pooped creep, I was doing all this stuff. Yeah, spire went down. I built these spines and spore here for DT protection. That was the things I was doing during all this. I don't know why I'm just waiting so long. But obviously, I see that he's on the high ground, and he's just leaving this base undefended. So this half the army that was right here goes here. I go like basically just attack move to like this area, and then this army I just pull back over here. You know, force him to fight you. There's no reason, if you have a superior army, there's no reason just to let him peg you from this position. So I'm just gonna pull back and get a concave on this side. So if he comes down the ramp, he's immediately gonna get surrounded by me. I have my infestors in the back, so he can't. If he blinks down over here, then he can kill him. But then I'm just gonna run into his base. So whatever. At this point, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to put a couple lings up for high ground site, a fungal, and more infested Terrans for high ground site. More infested Terrans, these were misclicked, but more infested Terrans for high ground site, more fungals, blah, 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 blah. Okay, kill all the zealots, just move in, and end the game. GTs even, but I had overseers, they got killed, and he just leaves the game. So, as you can see, as I said earlier, not perfect play. You know, I thought in this engagement here, when I counterattacked him at the natural, I thought that I was going to end the game right there. I thought I had enough roaches that I would do that. But the reason why is that blink stalkers are so much more efficient than like a 4-gate when it comes to defense and just fighting in general. In that sense, I was not able to crush that. Where normally that army with that many roaches that I fight with, and I'm still not far enough in the game. Yeah, it was like right there. It was before that. So, yeah, this encounter right here at like 10-ish minutes, maybe 11 minutes. I was just at 12, and now, well, let me go forward. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so this encounter right here, I thought I was going to crush him. That's not that many stalkers, but they're so efficient. He morphs in just 3 more, and this amount of stalkers, I mean, what is this, 12, 14 plus 3, so 17 stalkers, and this army from me dies. And I mean, look at how damaged they are. So many of these stalkers are. This one has 1 hit point. This one has 25 hit points. This one has 2 hit points. This one has 18 hit points, 16 hit points, 32 hit points. They're all so low. I mean, they would have been dead units in any other encounter, but because they're blunked, or blunk is only an aggressive blink. Because he's blinking effectively, he's able to keep them all alive, and it allows him to stay alive in a situation where he otherwise wouldn't. And so in that moment, as I said, I was a little bit of a, oh god, because I thought for sure I was going to kill him. But you know, basically explaining exactly why I do what I do. You know, you have to make army again just to have a little bit to defend in case he moves out. But I know I almost killed this Nexus, and so that's basically how that went. I ended up, you know, winning this game, luckily, and feeling pretty good about it, despite having not perfect play throughout the entire game. So pretty good. As you can see, infestors changed the game for me, and my protest buddy even agreed with me in that. He said, you know, really the game was pretty even until you got the infestors, and then it just swung in your favor. And I said, yeah, once the infestors came out, I knew that I was in a really good position, and until I saw Colossi, I was going to feel that way. So that was really why I pressed that advantage, and I made sure that he couldn't tech out of something that made my infestors not as good. I mean, Colossi obviously still good in any sense. Infestors are still good against that kind of an army anyway, especially with Neuroparasite if you can manage to land it. But it's just not. It's not somewhere I wanted to let him get to, and so that's why I made the decisions I made in this game. Actually, I missed a bear hug on a pylon, on that pylon here. Not important. I just want to show it because it's funny. It doesn't really matter, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys like this video, let me know. Let me know what you think about it. What you think about my channel in general. As I say, as I've said before, I'm always open to any kind of suggestions, anything like that. And yeah, so that'll be it for this game. I just want to see the bear hug, and then I'm gonna close out. Bear hug! Yay! So I was half expected like DTs to be warped right here while this was going on, but luckily this was happening at the same time. So yeah. But either way, good luck, have fun. See you guys next time.